the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good morning, everyone. It is the 1st of January 2023. Temperatures are nice and warm this morning. Nice and mild temperatures into 40s and 50s. We have more seasonal-like weather coming, but we do have another day of rain to come between now and then.
All right, coming up this morning on DC News Now, a lasting legacy. The world bidding farewell to the former head of the Roman Catholic Church, Pope Benedict XVI. Today we're taking a deeper dive at how a man named Joseph Ratzinger rose the ranks of the church to become Pope. Plus, we're going to be at the Basilica in D.C. here, how people in our backyard are paying tribute. Also coming up this morning, new year, new savings, the best way you can stay on top of your finances in 2023. And later on, keeping your goals. Why experts say if you start doing just this one thing, it could actually help you finally stick to that New Year's resolution. Good morning. It is 8 o'clock. This brand new year, 2023, is only 8 hours old. It's brand new. It's a fresh start. We all hit the restart button at the exact same time, and let us make the best of it. Thankfully, we have made it to Sunday, January 1st, a live look at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Absolutely beautiful outside, and here to tell us more about just how beautiful it's going to get, the beautiful New Year's Day gift that we're going to get, warm temperatures, and some sun peeking through the clouds. How are you, Derek? Good morning.
Good morning to you, Joe. We're seeing, of course, a nice, beautiful sunshine this morning after seeing a good bit of cloud cover and rainfall yesterday. A little bit of fog this morning. Areas along the Potomac River and south along I-95 this morning. We have a dense fog advisory for some south of town going on until 9 o'clock as we head in towards the 9 o'clock hour. So that will be going away soon. Other than that, we have a clear sweep of radar after seeing a good quarter of an inch of rainfall over the past 24 hours. Areas in the greens, those little greens here and there, saw about a half an inch of rain, if not a little bit more. But all in all, most of us stayed around a quarter, if not a little bit less. We have another chance of rain coming midweek. It is still very humid out, which is causing that fog, especially areas of Fredericksburg down to the south along I-95. That advisory goes until 9 a.m. this morning.
All right, that is Derek Bowen to start us off there from the Weather Center. We'll have a full weather report in just a couple minutes. In the meantime, we are following some breaking news this morning. Developments in New York City after a man with a machete attacked 3 police officers, hit 2 of them in the head before himself being shot in the shoulder. The attack happened right after 10 p.m., about 8 blocks from Times Square, just outside of this high-security perimeter where people are screened for weapons. The police officers hospitalized are expected to be okay. Still no word on any charges for the 19-year-old suspect, but we'll continue to follow developments and bring them to you on air and online as we get them into our newsroom. Well, meantime, this morning, the tributes are pouring in from around the globe. Pope Benedict XVI, the first pope in 600 years to resign from the papacy. It's been now more than 24 hours after his death. Our sister station, KTLA, put together this next piece that you're about to see, reflecting on Benedict's life before, during, and now after his time as the Bishop of Rome.
He was a pope etched in history. Pope Benedict was the oldest pope to be elected, the first German pope in 1,000 years, and the first pope to resign in 600 years. Pope Benedict set his own course early on and continued to follow his heart up until his death. Born Joseph Ratzinger in Germany in 1927, he was 6 years old when the Nazis took power. His family opposed the regime from the start. However, Pope Benedict was drafted into the military during World War II, serving in both Bavaria and Hungary. He deserted in 1945 and was held as a prisoner of war for several months. After the war ended, he entered seminary and was ordained as a Catholic priest. He went into academia, writing about theology and teaching university courses. His work attracted the attention of Pope John Paul II, who made him a cardinal. The two worked closely together, sharing the same conservative Catholic beliefs. When Pope John Paul died, Pope Benedict presided over his funeral. In record time, the papal conclave then elected Pope Benedict as head of the Catholic Church. One of the first things the newly elected Pope did was to continue the dialogue started by his predecessor with leaders of Christian, Muslim, and Jewish faiths. He visited a German concentration camp, drawing attention to the atrocities committed there. He also made several trips to foreign countries, including Spain, to honor World Youth Day.
As you return home, take back with you the good news of Christ's love, which we have experienced in these unforgettable days.
And the U.S. to denounce the priest sexual abuse scandals which were plaguing the church.
In the next few days, I look forward to a meeting not only with America's Catholic community, but with other Christian communities and representatives of the many religious traditions present in this country.
Pope Benedict also brought social media to the Vatican, becoming the first pope to tweet. In 2013, he gathered the cardinals together to deliver a routine address. But then, at the end, he made his shocking retirement announcement.
We were about to get the blessing, and he said, "Please sit down. I have something to say important for the church." So it was for us a surprise.
This was the first time a pope left the position in hundreds of years, and many Catholics didn't even know it was possible. Pope Benedict said his health was declining and he wasn't fit to lead anymore. However, some say he left also as a result of the sexual abuse scandals and declining mass attendance in Europe. Pope Francis was chosen to replace him, and Benedict was whisked away by helicopter, living his remaining years in a nearby monastery. The last time the world saw Pope Benedict was in August 2022, when Pope Francis introduced him to newly named cardinals. Pope Benedict wrote more than 60 books in his lifetime and presided over the church during a very tumultuous time. His legacy will be closely aligned with his conservative beliefs and his desire for unity.
A really good look this morning at the life of Pope Benedict XVI. Right now, you're taking a live look at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City in Rome, where the former pope is set to lie in state tomorrow. Benedict's body will stay there for 3 days until his funeral on the 5th, this Thursday. Well, Catholics around the world continue to mourn the loss of their former leader back here at home in our own backyard. Did you know that Washington, D.C. is home to the largest Catholic church in all of North America? It's called the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception. Yesterday it was busy with a mass honoring the former pontiff, and our Dave Laval was there.
D.C.'s Basilica of the National Shrine is one of the places then Pope Benedict XVI visited during his April 2008 tour of America. People came here Saturday not just to recall that moment, but also honor their late spiritual leader.
Music once again fills the halls of the Basilica of the National Shrine. The faithful gather to recognize their Savior and someone else, the late Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI. Among them, Cardinal Wilton Gregory.
In all of the many roles that he played during his long life, he never ventured far from his deep trust in God's providence and in God's design.
Those who gathered to remember the late pontiff who died Saturday said this is where they needed to be at this time.
I mean, all the popes are special for us Catholics, you know. We respect them. They're our leaders.
I said to my wife that this is probably the place to go outside of Rome right now as we remember the Pope.
The late Pope holds a special place in the heart of this basilica. He came here April 16th, 2008. All around the building are reminders of that visit. It's a day Monsignor Walter Rossi will never forget.
It was Easter week. It was a beautiful day outside, a beautiful day inside. The Holy Father arrived to the front of Mary's shrine, and as he did so, there were people on the front steps greeting him. And then he came to this upper church and greeted those who were in the upper church, said a prayer, gave a blessing, and then went down to the crypt church, and there he met with the bishops of the United States.
People will gather here again on Thursday for a 12:30 service to honor the late pontiff as he is buried at the Vatican. At D.C.'s Basilica of the National Shrine, Dave Laval, D.C. News Now.
And if you haven't checked out that church yet, I recommend you do. It's absolutely beautiful. We'll continue to stay on top of that story throughout the entire week. Well, developing now, we are keeping an eye on a homicide in Lorton, Virginia. Fairfax County Police saying that they found a man dead inside of a home following a shooting on Unity Lane. This was reported just before 8:30 last night. So far, no suspects or possible motives have been shared with the public. Officers are now turning it back to you, asking people to avoid the area and call them if they know anything. Well, a new policy is being introduced into Fairfax County Public Schools, one of the largest school systems in the entire country, and it's to establish a uniform three-strike system. That policy would mandate a school removes students from a classroom if they disrupt the class more than twice. Our Max Marcilla has more on how parents are reacting in Northern Virginia.
I hear the mantra is listen to parents, but as the parent of a high support needs disabled child, I don't think I'm being listened to.
Jennifer Litton-Tidd fears Virginia lawmakers are about to respond to the needs of students with autism in the wrong way. They're considering a policy that could reverse some of the changes Fairfax County made when it settled a lawsuit Litton-Tidd filed. It addressed seclusion and how her son with autism was treated.
You can't change molecules by punishing people.
House Bill 1461 was pre-filed just before Christmas by these two delegates, Bill Wiley, who represents areas in and around Winchester, and Buddy Fowler, whose district includes parts of Spotsylvania County. The bill mandates all school districts in Virginia implement a three-strike system for nonviolent disruptive behavior, immediate removal for any violent disruptive behavior, and prohibits anyone from holding a teacher liable for taking actions to control a physically disruptive or violently disruptive student.
Anyone who is yet to be diagnosed will not be protected from the punishments in this law.
Although the proposal says it does not apply to students with disabilities because of state and federal guidelines, Litton-Tidd is worried because of how many students don't have a formal diagnosis, especially black students with autism. Studies show their diagnoses are typically delayed by 3 years.
And this law, like so many others, is dehumanizing, will be traumatizing. It punishes children for being autistic, ADHD, neurodivergent, and other mental health conditions.